Sure. So the database industry itself is going through tremendous transformation. Relational databases have ruled the world for 40 years. Right now, Couchbase itself is what we call as a modern database that's designed for enterprises. That means, it's a fully distributed database, all the benefits of NoSQL with we approach the developer ease of use with SQL-like query language called NQL, N1QL, stands for non-first normal query language. So it's a modern database that helps developers to understand the modern requirements of flexible schema, high availability, the ability to deploy in a scale-out environment like cloud. So that's what we have built. So now, once you build a database, you need to communicate the value of the database, also how to develop on a database platform easily to your developers. So how do you do that? The approach, one of the approaches we have taken is, well, what do developers know? What jobs do they have? I mean, usually, developers for the longest time, they have a model of the data, and they need to do the CRUD operations, and they need a language to manipulate the data, and they need a way to program. And we already have, developers already have a mental model of Oracle, SQL Server, etc. And in the last few years, MongoDB has taken up that mantle, and MongoDB has become very popular. So the idea for this article was, well, start with what people already know, right? If a lot of developers already know Couchbase, know MongoDB, how do you explain the data model, the data access, the query language, and the architecture of Couchbase to these developers very easily, so that they can just learn, map what we have in Couchbase into their model and get on with developing applications on Couchbase easily. That was the idea behind the article. That's why I took from basic architecture, what are the different objects, the data types, the query language, the SDKs, and then once you have the objects, you have to explain what are the indexes, how does the optimizer work, how do the transactions work, how do you analyze data in this database. So I have just, in this article, I've taken people through basics all the way to optimizer and the transaction. So they have a mental model of what Couchbase is, and they can apply what they already know into learning this very quickly and get going.
Awesome. And Blake, you want to drop the link to the article in the chat so people can check out Keshav's latest article. And I noticed that you actually have a pretty long history of writing articles as well. So have you found that kind of taking this approach where you look at something developers are familiar with and kind of translate it into something that to help them learn something new, is that really a good approach?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this reminds me of kind of an old anecdote regarding Einstein. Somebody asked Einstein, how do you explain wireless communication to the masses, right? People don't understand. There is no wire. How does it work? He said, you take a cat, stretch it from New York to Los Angeles. You speak at one ear, you hear at the other ear. Except the difference is there is no cat. So, I mean, when you have to explain a complex bit of technology, you have to start with something they know, right? That's the idea. So people know relational databases. We have got other resources where we say we start with a relational database, and then once you start with what they know, how does it map? How does the new technology map into their current knowledge, and what are the tweaks? What are the differences? So then people say, this is, this is what is the new model, and this is the delta, and they can get on with it. So similar, the approach, I mean, like I said, in this article, the approach was, okay, start with what they know, and then add the delta.
Yeah, no, I think it's a really thoughtful approach, and hopefully it makes the topic really approachable for people that are new to certain technologies. So thought it was really well written. Thanks for sharing it with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so just if you want to say a little bit just about your history on DZone, you've got over 50 articles that have reached over 500,000 pages.
Yeah.
That is just amazing.
Absolutely. Again, DZone has been a fantastic platform. Our motto is, we can develop and put it on our website, but people will not come to us. We need to go where the developers are. And DZone is a place where I myself learn many things on a daily basis on DZone. It's a great way to learn, and we also found a great way to share with other developers. That's why I'm not as consistent as the first featured. I wish it's a great goal to have, but I've been writing for about 5 years now on a regular basis, and I get great feedback, and even our own customers are on DZone platform. So we want to be there. And this has become the new water cooler for developers. So we want to be there talking to our developers and learning from our own developers, and also helping developers as well.
Well, thank you so much for continuing to share all of your insight and your tutorials and everything with our community. I think just having people like you, sharing what they know is what DZone's all about. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate all your support, and your staff is fantastic.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, and have a great rest of your day. Keshav Murthy, everybody, VP of Couchbase. Be sure to check out Couchbase.
Thank you.